But it's a Rover. Yeah, but it's a GTI. Good evening and welcome back. And you join me currently sat in the driver's seat of the Rover. And the reason for that, particularly being as it's a Thursday night, is I'm going to get some work done to the car tomorrow. So the long and short is, as you know, I've had a misfire in the engine for a long time. Not been able to diagnose it, and I'm not entirely too sure what's causing it. As you know, we've changed the coil packs, the leads, the sparks, rocker cover gasket. We tried a flush on the injectors. Can't read any codes because this uses a system that doesn't like the OBD2 system, even though it is a MEMS 3 ECU that's inside the car. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to get this taken out. So I went to, there is a bumblebee flying around my camera. Lovely. So what I did is I thought, oh fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do now. So I took it over to a local garage, and they very kindly did a pressure test. You know, the one where they check to see what the compression is on the cylinders. Yeah, that'll be a compression test. So they did a compression test, and it turns out 1, 2, and 4 are fine. 3, no. It's absolutely pants. So 1, 2, and 4 were coming back in the 200s, and number 3 was coming back in the 100s, which means that it's losing compression. Now they believe that it's going to be damaged valve stem seams because of this head off, and then they're going to have to try and fix it. Quotes, competitive, but not the most competitive. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to tell you the prices of it. Actually, no, I will tell you the price. They said it would be $1,000 and then potentially stuff on top of it. But bearing in mind, this would also include cam belt, water pump, various other bits done at the same time. So it's a package thing. It's quite expensive. I suppose you could say, hey, Alex, why don't you do it yourself? And I'm like, no, because I'm afraid. So then I looked at a few other options. Reconditioned head, because I could just take the head out, put a new one on, buy the bits from DMGR, discount MG Rovers spares. I thought, no, I don't want the headache to do with this, because it's like laying carpet. I'll have a go at pretty much anything, but I won't lay carpet because it's too much of a ball ache. And I had a feeling that this was going to be too much of a ball ache. And you could say, hey, the whole point is you're supposed to learn. But then another element of learning is learning to know the shit you can't do. And this is the shit I can't do. So I got in contact with a mobile MG company. I've not spoke to them yet, so I won't put their name in either. And I won't talk about their pricing. However, they are way more competitive, and they live and breathe these engines. And the reason why I won't say anything now is because they're not here until tomorrow, which is going to be a Friday. And I haven't asked them. So as long as they're okay with me taking some pictures and maybe a little bit of video, I'll put it in there. Worst case scenario, it probably still will just be photos, but I'll have a little discussion about the type of work that they're doing to it. So I suppose, shall we have a little look underneath the engine so I can point out the areas where it's a little bit knackered, and I suppose it gives us a little bit something different to look at instead of just me leaning really seductively over the red bonnet, which is slightly dusty and needs to be cleaned. Let's have a look under the engine bay. Cool, now I'm standing seductively on this side of the engine. Beautiful. Anyway, so cylinders 1, 2, 3, 4. It's this bad boy here, number 3, which has given us low compression. What I'm finding is my coolant is leaking. Can't find out where it's leaking from. Bled it a couple times. You can see that it's holding pressure because this pipe here has gone quite in. It's pressurized, so it's gone in. So I don't think that it's coming from anything that's just stood still like this. It's not leaking, it's not dripping on the driveway. It seems to only really be doing it when the car gets hot or it's gotten too hot. Or if I'm driving it on a hot day, it happens to be worse. So I have a feeling that when this had its head gasket done originally by someone previously, that it may not have sat correctly. It's the multi-layer steel gasket that they'd utilised. Don't know if the head was sent off to be skimmed, so there's a good possibility that there could be some sort of issue there. And I suppose it would also explain maybe the slight amount of vapour that it looked like I was getting in the winter, but not in the summertime, because it must be getting into the combustion chamber somehow, which could also add up to why I was getting sort of like that white discharge or white powdering on some of the spark plugs. I know that's usually if it runs lean, but I guess if it's maybe if it's damp, it does these things, but I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But what I can tell you is leaking bit of coolant. Got the misfire here, and all in with the deal that they're doing with me is they will come in, they've already got a reconditioned skimmed head, so it's going to be this head off, cam covers change, what we're talking about, it's going to be the water pump, the cam belt, the cam seals and all that sort of stuff, because you know the new VVC head's going to go on there, which will have like the new cam carrier, what is it called, you know, the fucking thing that I replaced here. You'll see it in the video that I've done previously before. Link up here. It turns out it was pointless. I shouldn't have done that because I'm going to get a new one anyway. So fair enough, it was £10 in an afternoon, but hey ho, that's done. Alongside with replacing the gasket on the inlet. That's also been redundant, but I suppose that was all part of the learning experience. So that's another tenner in an afternoon that I suppose I could have saved, but it was fun. Good viewing. Please like and subscribe if you want to watch that video up here. Anyway, sorted, get that bit sorted. This bit will be done. Nice flush through, check it all over, make sure it's running tickety-boo. And then instead of us doing a 0 to 11 second 0 to 60 run, hopefully it'll be back down in the 8s, which would be wicked, sweet, awesome. And I'll be very happy if that happens. Once that's done, I can also then feel confident at throwing some money at trying to figure out why the air conditioning doesn't work, and then probably do that suspension work, which is flagged up on the MOT as a advisory, because I'm sure if you check out the car on its MOT, I need to get some drop links replaced, and I think it's a shock absorber or a dampener. They might be the same thing. Once again, show my ignorance. But I'll get that done as long as this bit gets sorted. And I suppose the fate of the car lays in their hands. And hopefully tomorrow, or in a few seconds, you'll be able to see me happily skipping down the stairs or having a nice little chat over some photos about what's going on. So please enjoy the next however many minutes it's going to be for this. And hopefully, like me, you're going to be quite excited about what's going to happen with it. And let's hope it's fucking successful, because I really like this car and I really want it to continue living, because look at it, it's brilliant. Right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, actually no, I'll see you in a few seconds, but to me it'll be tomorrow, so see you in a bit. Right, so you join me now on the Friday itself, during the time when the guys here sorting the car out. I'll put some pictures up. Basically, he's already taken the head off of the engine and then done a little inspection inside it. So it's not the best of news. So as I thought, yeah, fair enough, there's low compression in it. You'll see on the picture, so I should put the picture of the head up, that shows that a couple valves are not seating properly, which fair enough, that's one thing. So the valves aren't seating, which is probably what's causing the low compression. Couple issues. One, when he was taking it apart, in one of the coolant channels, valleys, I don't know if that's what you would call it, I'll put that picture up now. There was a you know, like a drill bit, there was a drill bit in there. Yeah, so that would have been mildly restricting coolant flow, but there was a drill bit in there. So one, that's not very good. Number two, and this is the more important thing and the more costly thing. So it turns out that on the head itself, turns out the head's scrap. Reason why it's scrap is it's scratched. Also, it's been what do you call it? Skimmed. It's been skimmed before, and it's because of the scratch. And when it had been skimmed before, it's too little now. There's not enough now for you to be able to reuse it. So the head is scrap, which is unfortunate. So I've got the added cost of that replacement head, which fair enough, if that's the thing, if that's what I've got to take on it, that's what I've got to take on it. Just it is what it is. Here's the bit though, so I sort of had pre-budgeted for that and expected that I'm going to have that additional cost. The downside now is, and I'll ping the, it might still be up, but I'll ping the picture of the block up again. So around the pistons, it's those cylinder sleeves. That's what I'm going to call them right now. I'll put what it really is in the corner if I've said that wrong. So essentially around those, there's some corrosion. And that corrosion and the fact that they're sitting ever so slightly low means that when I'm getting that coolant loss, I'm getting the coolant loss by it seeping between the head gasket and those piston rings. It's not called piston rings. Between the cylinder things, whatever they are, like I say, names up here. And because of this, you can see that, first off, you can see it on the head, which I'll put that picture back up, where it's slightly different color because it's kind of like cleaning it at the same time in certain areas. And that's where the coolant loss is coming from. So those need to be replaced as well. Happy days. So it's costing more money. However, he's got all the bits. Showed me what it is that they're being replaced with. What he's going to do next is go through the process of taking all of those bits apart now. Still doing it on the driveway, so he's taking all of those bits apart now. Once they've been taken apart, he'll let me know again, because I'm working at the same time as this happening. He'll let me know again, and then I'll go out, see if I can take a few more photos, and then talk through what the next steps are. But from my understanding, it should just be a case of the ancillaries that are on my head get moved over to the new head. The cylinder sleeves, I think they're called sleeves, the 4 sleeves, they'll get replaced. The one shining value is I don't have the additional cost of labor on it. It's just the cost of the parts because they're already there. Actually, there might be a small amount of labor, but he's already got most of it taken apart anyway. That will get done, and then once they're on, new head gasket, new water pump, new cam belt, head back on. Make sure it's all timed, obviously, because that's part of the process of it. New coolant, more oil and filter change, and just a general service and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, hopefully then I should be back to full power and being able to drive around. However, there is a bedding in process, he did tell me. So for the first 300 miles, keep it low, probably under 3,000 RPM, you know, just to be safe with it. And then after those 300 miles, then what I need to do is drop the oil and the filter so I can finally do that oil and filter change that I know you've all been dying to see me do. Do that oil and filter change, and then I should be able to drive the engine as it's intended, obviously once it's warmed up, and not just rag it from cold. So yeah, not what I wanted to hear. Slightly more expensive than what I was expecting, but you know what? I might as well just get it done. I've got 2 options. I can either bin it off, the car will just get scrapped. It can't go back together without these bits getting sorted, because I'll only end up having to take it apart again in 6 months' time. It'll still leak coolant, and I don't really want that to be the case. I want it to work properly and do well, because I really enjoy the car and I want to keep taking it out and about with me. I want the girls, the kids, and the missus to keep enjoying it. So yeah, unfortunately, got to pay the money. So yeah. I'll let you know how it goes next time, and hopefully it's not as shit, the information, but then at the same time, hopefully it's really good, because I want it to be sorted. Working on cars, woo! Right, that's enough of me being weird. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And we return. Today, Sunday, last time I spoke to you, Friday, work was being done on the engine. You know what that means? It's taken me more than 2 days to check this out. FYI, I hope you like the shorts on my white legs. It's summery and it's warm here. However, shall we see what's gone on? If I open the engine, you're going to be able to see that there's not an engine in there. So let's take a closer look and I'll talk to you about what's going on. Okay, so here we have it. We've got the bottom part of the engine, the big end. Anyway, so this lovely little rag that we've got over the top here is covering up the area where the pistons were. The crank's still in there, but the pistons are out. I'm sure you remember from our last conversation that the problem I had was essentially the cylinder liners, the piston liners, the liners. Let's just call them the liners. Yeah, so they were corroded around the outside. Because of this, they needed to be taken out, and then new ones were going to get put in, and then the pistons go in. However, we come into a problem, and that problem was piston number 4, because as I can't remember if I've stated before, but when we did the compression test, 1 and 2 were coming up around about 225. Number 3 was coming up at around about 110, 120, and number 4 was ever so slightly lower at about 200 and something, 215, 210, 210, I think it was. So when you look at the con rod, which is what attaches to the piston, I believe that's the correct term. I'll point over here if it is or it isn't. It's ever so slightly bent. He took it out, he showed it to me, he goes, can you have a look at this for me, please? And you can see that it is ever so slightly bent. So because of this, I had two options. It's put it back together with the slightly bent conrod, or option number two, which, as you can tell, it being a Sunday and it not being put back together, is let me go get a replacement set of pistons and then I'll put it back together for you. And I was like, well, yeah, let's do that. Of course, it's at a cost. It's at a minimal cost because we're already at this point. And the main reason for getting that done at that point is, let's say, for example, if I had another problem later on down the line. One, it's not going to be warranted work because it's not a quality part, whereas now it will be warranted work. And number two, let's say it twists more. Let's say I still have a loss of power. Let's say I still have problems with it. I might as well eliminate all issues as I can. Now, one would say, why are you throwing so much money at it? Because I want to. And question, or number two, let's say part B. So the other thing with it as well is I was given two options. It's either like get those pistons in, go this. And he said, look, it potentially is cheaper to have a second-hand engine put in there. And then when given the choice, I think there was about £100 in it between getting this one fixed and having a second-hand engine, which you just turn up with crane and pop in and this one come out. I decided to stick with the engine that's already in the car because it's a known quantity. Gone through all of this effort as it is, and it's the engine that originally came with the car. You can hear my daughter shouting. They're playing in the garden. It's, like I say, it's water on the bikes. So yeah, so as it sits at the moment, I'm now currently waiting. It's going to be about 3 weeks before they can fit me back in to get it fixed. But yeah, so here's where I am at the moment. All of these bits are here, and the other parts, well, they're currently sat in my boot, which is here in the boot. You can see that I've got the sump, I've got my pistons, I've got my conrod. I'm not going to touch any of this stuff because my man's dealing with that, and I'd rather him deal with and know what's going on. I've got the head just over here. This is the casing for the cam cogs, I don't know what they're called. They go on the end of the camshafts, and then the air filter and that, and the crank pulley's down there. So everything here is in the boot. Oh, and I got a exhaust shield there. Essentially, when he comes along, come back, they're going to swap all the bits over from my head onto the good head, the good VVC head that's going back on top of it. They'll need to get those new conrods put on the pistons as well. Happy days, the new liners will go in, everything will get sorted. So when it's all done, the car should be running and driving pretty much as if brand new. Essentially, it'll all get put back together, and then I've got to let it sit for, no, I've got to drive it for around about 300 miles. Not in one sitting, just like over the course of a couple of days, it'll probably be. Do the 300 miles, and then it'll have to be drop the oil and change the filter in it. And then once that's all changed, I should be able to rag it around like nobody's business. However, as long as it's all warmed up, and during those 300-mile bedding in period, I sort of need to let it wait, you know, not like don't rag it or anything like that. It will be keep it under 3,000 RPM for that period of time, which to be fair is quite easy to do. Don't drive faster than 60 miles an hour. Don't aggressively accelerate. So nice and easy. It's been a bit of a fucking ball ache. I would have liked it to be ready, and I would have loved to be driving it around now, but that's just not what the case is. You might be able to hear my daughter not happy because I've said to her, can you please stay inside just while I record this, because it's oily and bitty and I don't want her to grab at the stuff. But hey, this is it for the moment. So stuff hasn't been completed just yet, and unfortunately it's going to be a bit of a part two. So part one is, hey, look, some stuff's been done, and hopefully next week, which even though in the real world is 3 weeks, hopefully next week it'll be me going, hey, look, it's all put back together, and I'm really happy about this. So yeah, I want to say next week. It's not going to be next week, is it? It's probably going to be a couple weeks in between. So I've got to think of some stuff to do. What do you think is going to be fun? I don't know. We'll find something out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. This is all coming out of my pocket. So the more people that subscribe, and maybe if you know, the channel takes off a little bit more, maybe I'll earn some income so that I can pay for doing all of this stuff, which would be nice. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.